Thank you very much, Mr. Rajneesh Kumar, for your reassurances about State Bank of India's banking policies towards our industry. At this point in time, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Ashish Chavan, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Bombay Stock Exchange, who has joined us. A warm welcome to you, sir, and please do join us on stage. May I request Mr. Mohit Kamboj to kindly felicitate and welcome Mr. Ashish Chavan. Thank you, sir. May I now request Mr. J.K. Dadoo, Additional Secretary and FA, Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, to kindly address us. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. J.K. Dadoo.
Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, Mr. Das, Mr. Kamboj, distinguished members on the dais, distinguished members of the bullion trade, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here for two reasons. Number one, I am on the board of MMTC and STC, which do a lot of bullion trading. And number two, in the Department of Commerce, I used to look after Australia, from where we were trying very hard for the last 4 years to import gold doré bars. I believe that is something which the entire trade looks forward to. Unfortunately, Australia was very resistant in allowing that, but I guess over time this will become a reality. Now, I'd like to talk mainly about the gold monetization scheme and take forward from where Mr. Bhatt left, because I believe that this scheme has tremendous potential to completely wipe out the requirement of import of 1,000 tons of gold every year. My thoughts are like this. There is a total gold stock in the country of about 22,000 tons valued at $1 trillion. I believe 50% of this lies in Indian temples, and you name the religion. Each religion has temples or religious places where this gold is stacked. I also believe that 90% of this gold lies in 100 big temples and religious places in the country. Now, it would not be easy to get these religious places to part with their gold and give it either to MMTC or to the State Bank of India so easily. The point I'm trying to make is that if the Department of Economic Affairs can depute an official who talks to these 100 top temples and religious places in the country and convinces them that no questions will be asked about the source of this gold because it's all donation, that can unleash, as Mr. Bhatt said, a flood of gold into the country. And if 10% of these temples and religious places agree to part with this gold, out of that 10,000 tons which is lying with these 100-odd temples, you would get about 1,000 tons of gold every year. Now, the advantage is that this gold will also get replenished in these temples every year, and therefore you'll have an inflow of 1,000 tons of gold every year coming into the system. Now, there's a small catch here. If you just keep the gold and then have to return the gold back, the gold prices can rise in the future and create a problem for the economy. So what I'm suggesting is this 1,000 tons of gold is either bought by SBI or one of the major banks or MMTC, converted into gold coins, and then put into circulation in the market. So instead of buying gold and making coins, we circulate the stack of gold or the stock of gold and do the same thing so that we save about 1,000 tons of gold import valued at about $35 billion. This is the point I wanted to make, and then I'll answer a few questions which were raised by Mr. Kamboj. It's a good idea to have a gold bank dedicated to this very vital and sensitive commodity. How long it will take to fructify and what will be the procedures, I think Secretary DA knows best. But it's a good idea to have a gold bank. It's also a good idea to have a separate EPC for gold, for diamond, and for gems. For that, you need to make a proper justification and submit to the Department of Commerce. We can have a look at it. And I see the disparity between gold as a commodity, diamond as a commodity, and the colored gems. It makes vital sense to have a separate EPC for each. I'm very happy to note that 450 important people in 300 cities are going to be put by the IIBS for the gold monetization scheme. I think that will be extremely useful. The last point I'd like to make is about the reduction in the exports of about 25% of gems and jewelry last year. Now, gems and jewelry is one of our largest exporting items, and therefore a dip of 25% means a major dip in our exports. The fear is that we will not be able to reach $300 billion, which we have done for the last 3 years, and therefore I would urge all the bullion and gems and jewelry exporters sitting in this august audience to put their heads together and see that we take all steps necessary to ensure that we touch $300 billion, in which you have a 20% stake. There was a talk of high interest cost, but I must tell you, and I must thank Secretary DA, the interest equalization scheme, as it will be called, has been passed by the Cabinet, and very soon DGFT should be able to start implementing this probably within this month. There are a couple of other points I wanted to make on the World Gold Council survey that was done in December 2014. About 5,000 respondents from 33 cities had been surveyed. Gold demand came out as very strong and enduring. 75% of the people said that we buy gold for investment purposes. The standard of gold, the standardization of gold, it was felt was necessary so that buyers and sellers have faith in the quality and the price of the gold. A need for creating a gold board to manage the exports and imports of gold and gold-related jewelry was also felt. China and Turkey turn out to be high consumers of gold after India, and therefore accredited assaying units for non-standardized gold so that certificates can be issued for them was a very good suggestion. Incidentally, Turkey has monetized 200 tons of gold in the last 2 years, and therefore there's no reason why India should not have a bigger and larger target. And China, who's the largest gold producer today and has 8 refineries, it's heartening to know that India too has 5 accredited refineries today, which will help the gold monetization scheme to become a reality. Thank you very much.